If you're watching this video, it's likely that you played tag before. But what's the longest game you've ever played? Has it been over a morning, an afternoon, even an entire day? What about 30 years? You're it, mate.
Tag is a film about a group of adult friends who play the same game of tag for decades. Every May, these friends get together and continue the game of tag wherever they are in the world.
But surely the real life events can't be as wacky as the ones that happen in the movie, right? Well, you'll be mistaken. Hello and welcome to Wait, This Is Real, the YouTube series exploring the wacky side of history.
Tag.
Tag was inspired by a group of 10 friends who met in Spokane, Washington in the 80s. Patrick Schulteis, one of the original founding members of the tag team, recalls when they first created the group.
It actually started in 1981 or 82 when we were all in high school. The group of us went to school together. We all kind of grew up together in Spokane, Washington. We went to a Jesuit high school called Gonzaga Prep, and for some there was a period between, if I recall correctly, 10 a.m. and 10:20 a.m. where there was a break, and a group of us, it turned out to be 10 of us, started playing tag during that break. And tag's a game that children play, but we were 16, 17, 18 years old at the time, and we just started playing it, but just during that 20-minute period. It was absurd, but whatever. It's what teenagers do. Well, we graduated from high school. We all went to different universities, and some of us went to graduate school and so forth. And we all got out of school more or less in 1988, 89, 90. And a group of guys were having beers one night and had a discussion about it. Said, why don't we start up the game again? Start up tag, for a variety of reasons, including just an opportunity to spend time among the group of us. After you get off into the working world, that's a little bit harder to do. You have less time, where you're spending time at your parents' house and so forth. You're living your lives, and so we decided to do it. I was a young lawyer at the time, and I said, well, if we're going to do this, we all got to have a common understanding. Why don't I write an agreement? So I wrote a what's called a tag participation agreement.
With the game starting up again, many players decide to employ their own set of tactics to avoid being hit. One of the more extreme tags from the movie is actually based on real events, with Patrick being tagged at his own father's funeral.
My dad was a judge, and he performed the wedding of Joe Cafaro, whose nickname is Beef. He did Beef's wedding many years before that, performed the ceremony as a judge. And my dad was cracking wise the whole time, telling jokes and everything like that. And that was expected and appreciated, and it was pretty funny. So Beef was it going into the funeral, and during the Catholic funeral mass, there was a communion, and I was sitting near the aisle and next to my mother, and people came up and were patting me on the shoulder, saying, "I'm sorry, hang in there," all those words of condolences. And Joe Cafaro, Beef, came up and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "You're it." I looked at him, I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yep, you're it." So a few guys are masters of disguises. Beef is a master of disguise. If you recall in the movie, Ed Helms is dressed as a little old lady in the shopping mall, and he tries to tag Jeremy Renner that way. That attire, the dress, including the walker, but the shawl, the knit shawl and everything like that, is almost exactly the costume that Beef has used in the past. Other people are just fiercely competitive and willing to travel anywhere to do it. Rick Bruyer, we call him the Bruiser, is a fiercely competitive tag player. He once drove nonstop from the San Francisco Bay Area to Seattle towards the end of the month in order to tag Beef.
Even now, the brothers are still playing 44 years after they started. But it isn't about just being it. It's about keeping in contact to each other and maintaining that friendship.
The game really helps keep us connected. While we all went to high school and grade school together, we all live in different places and we have different careers and so forth and so on. So it would have been easy over the course of 40 plus years to have drifted apart. But I think the game has been instrumental in ensuring that, notwithstanding the physical difference or the different life circumstances or what have you, we stay in touch.
In 2013, the Wall Street Journal first reported on the story, making it national news. And 5 years later, in 2018, Tag was first released in cinemas, starring the likes of Jeremy Renner and Ed Helms. Although the actual amount of players was reduced from 10 to 5, they very much kept the real-life spirit of the game, with the other characters being composites of the other players.
So that was the movie Tag. I don't know about you, but I'm already tired. I don't even know how long we've been doing this for.
15 minutes.
44 years, how did you do that?